I'm Johanna, Be My Doggo Books. Welcome to or welcome back to my channel. Today I have an eclectic mini book haul for you. Oh, yeah. So I'm on a book buying ban, as you know, which ends in April. I appreciate when this is going out, it's not quite April, but some of these are secondhand, were pre-order or part of a subscription, so technically I tell myself that doesn't count. Yeah, I make the rules. So first, hello to Patti. Hello, she loves some of the new books. Not all of them, but some of them. Lucy, will you say hello? Say hello to the camera. Hi people, hello. Hello friends. Hiya pals is what she says. Try and make sure you get some double doggo when I'm on. I've actually just finished recording the next weekend blog that you'll see, just in case come the next weekend blog you recognise my Stranger Things jumper, because I was like, I could go and get changed, right? But this is real life. This is real life. Sometimes I record more than one video in one day, or parts of video. Didn't need to explain myself, did I? Anyway, grab a cuppa and let's get stuck into some of the books I've managed to haul. Also note, when I do haul books, I try and unhaul a couple to go to my wee free library in the work. Or the charity shop. Right, talking wee free library, I will show you two books that I picked up from the wee free library at work. Firstly is, you know I love Stephen King, and if you don't, I love Stephen King. He was one of the authors back when I was in, like, probably too young to read Stephen King. What do they call it now? Tween, when you're not quite teenager. And so I like to read Stephen King a month. But I'm also trying to like collect a lot of these books again, because I used to have them back in the day and I gave them away years and years and years and years ago. And I don't want to always buy them new, but it is the kind of book that's often quite difficult to find in a charity shop, by the way. Anyway, this one was in the wee free library. It's Stephen King's Insomnia, which I have read. Ask me what it's about, other than the title. I can't remember because I read it when it came out years ago. And when did this come out? 1994. So I must have read it late 90s. You'll lose a lot of sleep, Ralph does. At first he finds it hard to drop off, and then he starts waking up earlier and earlier. I'm going to start giving myself nightmares, because like this morning I had a nice long lie for me, okay, to 6:30 in the morning. That is a long lie for me. Like 7 is like, oh my god, that's amazing, I've not slept that long forever. Whereas Saturday morning it's 5 AM. So, you know, sometimes when I read books about insomnia, I have zero problem falling asleep. It's when I wake up, it's my issue. Anyway, then he starts waking up earlier and earlier, but that isn't when he begins seeing things, colours, shapes, strange odours around his friends, and not to mention the bald doctors who always turn up at the scene of a death. The evil-looking one clutching a rusty scalpel, all that comes later. Insomnia is a relentless waking nightmare in which the master of horror and suspense guarantees you sure won't rest in peace. I have to pick my time when I read that, but check the size up. In true Stephen King style, I mean, it's not the worst size I've ever seen from Stephen King books. So I was dead chuffed for that, because I was like, I think someone had only just handed it into the wee free library at my office that I look after. I started it. Yay me. And the other one I picked up not that long ago, and I have promised a colleague that as soon as I finish it I'm going to give it to her, is A Strong Female Character by Fern Brady. She's a comedian. And this is a non-fiction, is it memoir? Autobiography? I mean, firstly, look at the cover. It's written in quite a good way. A summary of my book. 1. I'm diagnosed with autism 20 years after telling a doctor I had it. 2. My terrible Catholic childhood. 3. My friendship with an elderly man who runs the corner shop and is definitely not trying to groom me. 4. Homelessness. 5. Stripping. 6. More stripping, but with more nervous breakdowns. 7. I hate everyone at Edinburgh Uni, etc. 8. Redacted as too spicy. 9. After everyone tells me I don't look autistic, I try to cure my autism by getting addicted to Xanax. And 10. Redacted as too embarrassing. You see the redacted one. I've heard good things about this. I've heard it's quite funny. Well, she is a comedian. But I actually don't know anything about her life, so I'm quite excited to read this. It's one that I had hoped to maybe try and get in audio, so if I do, I'll keep an eye out for that, because I think I quite like reading a lot of non-fiction on audio as well. So those were my freebies. Freebies? Well, yeah, from the Wee Free Library. Then, talked about my pre-order. So I decided in 2024, when I was doing my first 3 months of 2024 book buying ban, that pre-orders didn't count. I mean pre-orders ones that I pre-ordered in 2023. So this pre-order that came in this week, and I totally forgot about it until it arrived at my door, I was very excited, is their third and final instalment of a book series that I absolutely love. It is the final book in the Indian Lake Trilogy by Stephen Graham Jones. Book 3, which came in, is The Angel of Indian Lake. But we'll start with book 1, My Heart is a Chainsaw. This is a brilliant tale of, well, basically, some girls just don't know how to die, and it's about like, it kind of lives and breathes the whole final girl trope of horror movies. However, this is just so much more than this. So Jade Daniels is the main character. She's a phenomenal character. She's an outcast in her local town. She's got an abusive father. She's half Indian with an abusive father, an absent mother, and she is in the cusp of about to get kicked out of school. So she goes full pelt into her final assignment in hopes of like staying in school, kind of the consistent thing in her life. And it's a personal history of horror films. So this is where Stephen Graham Jones, who is an amazing horror author, he writes more literary horror, in my opinion. The other book he wrote was Only Good Indians, which I've never read. He is a Native American, and I do like the culture and diversity he brings into his books. So obviously in this one, Jade is half Indian, and refers to her family background as well as her love of slashers. So one of the quotes here talks about it's a homage to slasher films that also managed to defy and transcend genres. An easy contender for the best of the year, left me stunned and applauded. This is where, when Jade's writing about the history of horror films, she starts to delve deep into some of the stories of her hometown. That's all I'm going to say. And then book 2 is Don't Fear the Reaper, which I loved. I would say this was 5 stars. This was a good solid 4 stars. It's not a spoiler if I just say Jade Daniels faces down a brutal serial killer in this pulse-pounding tribute to the golden era of horror cinema and Friday the 13th. So if you like these kind of books and movies, I love slashers, like it's a favourite genre. And so in this one, The Angel of Indian Lake, I'll not read the synopsis in case there's any spoilers from books 1 and 2, but the Lake Witch trilogy concludes as Jade Daniels returns to Proof Rock, which is our town, for their final showdown. I am beyond excited for this. I love Stephen Graham Jones's writing. I love his, you can just see his innate love of the horror movie genre and slashers. Not for everyone. I blooming love it. So that is one of the new ones from the pre-order. And then I have 4 from subscriptions. So one subscription that I've been on the waiting list for ages and ages and ages is Illumicrate. It's horror subscription, so it's like a quarterly subscription they do. Yeah, because they do have like a monthly one, which I did get for a while, but then realised I'm not a massive fantasy reader, so kind of gave that one up. And then there's quite a big waiting list for the Evernight one, which is the quarterly horror book subscription. So I finally got an email after like signing on to the waiting list in October or November to say, yay, you can join. So I quickly joined. So I get my first official book subscription in April, and then it's every quarter after that. However, in signing up, it gave me the opportunity to buy the January subscription, and so I did. And like every night. So this one is called the Invocations by Krystal Sutherland. Firstly, wait till you see the book. Right, look at spreadsheets. Look how terrifying that looks in a beautiful way. And then, look at this. It's stunning. It's stunning. Right, and it is by Hotkey Publishing, so, which to me says YA. So 5 women are dead, the killer leaves no fingerprints, no DNA, police are utterly stumped. In a world where only women can use magic, and the men who know about it seek to eradicate them. That reminds me of The Power by Naomi Alderman, which I loved. I'll read that bit again. In a world where only women can use magic and men who know about it seek to eradicate them, 3 damaged young women, 1 cursed, 1 hunted, and 1 out for revenge, will team up to track down and take out a brutal supernatural killer. Sounds phenomenal. Oh, look, it's all signed by the author. And how pretty is that? I do love YA. I actually really like YA horror. Oh, she wrote House of Hollow, which I read. I read it and enjoyed it, but didn't love it. How stunning is that? So I'm kind of glad I treated myself to that. So, I mean, it's just beautiful. Look at that artwork. Oh, tell me a bookworm who does not love pretty book covers. Then, on horror, I have a monthly book subscription, which to be fair is probably about the same price as that one there. That I get every month, and it's the Abominable Book Club. So I get the book only version because you can get another version that has got like treats and stuff like that, but a lot of them don't have, like, because I'm vegan, a lot of the stuff I can't really eat, so I just go for the book one. And you always get 2 new books, so one's from an indie press and so both are new and one's always from an indie press. And then you get a second-hand book, which I love. So let's start with the second-hand one, which is utterly bonkers. The last few second-hand ones I've got from the Abominable, I managed to say it, book club, have been like James Herbert, Dean Koontz, and a few others like that. This one is from an author I've never heard of, but I do love zombies. I just mentioned I'm vegan. Check this. I've never heard of this. It's called The Vegan Revolution with Zombies by David Agranoff. It says, presenting stress-free food. Animal suffering is a thing of the past. Hipsters can now enjoy bacon without guilt. Thanks to a new miracle drug, the cute little pig no longer feels a thing as she's led to slaughter. The only problem, once the drug enters the food supply, anyone who eats it is infected. From fast food burgers to free-range organic eggs, eating animal products turn people into shambling, brain-dead zombies. Not even vegetarians are safe. In Portland, Oregon, of course. I've never been, but I know it's like kind of cool hipster. Vegans, freegans, abolitionists, hardliners and raw fooders have holed up in a food fight. One of the country's premier vegan groceries at the vegan mini mall. This is going to put anyone off from being a vegan. They must prepare for their final battle to take the city back from hordes of roaming undead. Will vegans fillet the flesh eaters, or will they become zombie chow? never heard of this in my life. 2010 by Deadite Press. Half of me is tempted to read it, just go, is this any good? I'm being really judgy, but yeah, it did make me laugh because I was like, knowing my love of zombies, like Walking Dead. And anyway, the two, one, I'm very excited for. Actually, it's a doubler because I did pre-order it, but I've since added it to my wee free library at work. But this one I hadn't heard of, and it's A Good House for Children by Kate Collins. This, fundamentally, when I was reading the synopsis, going, this sounds like the perfect haunted house book, and I'd never heard of it. Also doesn't look like horror in the slightest, but I mean, it's got a haunted house. So despite all Elizabeth's givings, her husband insists a crumbling mansion at the edge of Dorset Cliffs is the perfect place to raise their two children, but the Reeve is a house where doors open on their own, reflections cannot be trusted, and her sons become obsessed with his imaginary friends. A feminist gothic that evokes Shirley Jackson. Sold. So I think me and a couple of my friends who get this horror book club book subscription, because we always pick one from each month and do a buddy read of it. So I think we're going to read that hopefully soon. So it should feature in a weekend reading vlog. And another author who, like CJ Tudor, who's an author I want to read more of in 2024 because I only ever read their first book in January? Yes. This other author who I am desperate to read more of now that I now own 4 of their books and haven't read any, is Rachel Harrison, and this one is called Black Sheep. So this is their newest one. Nobody has a normal family, but Viper writes is truly something else. Viper. Their name's Vesper. Vesper left home at 18 and never looked back, mostly because she was told that leaving the staunchly religious community, cult vibes, she grew up in meant that she couldn't return. But then an invitation to the wedding of Vesper's cousin Rosie arrives. Something inside her insists she should go, even if it means returning to the toxic environment she escaped, even if it means reuniting with her mother, Constance, a former horror film star and forever ice queen. How good does that sound? When Vesper's homecoming exhumes a terrifying secret, she is forced to reckon with her family's beliefs and her own crisis of faith in this fiery, irreverent horror novel from the acclaimed author of Cackle, Such Sharp Teeth and Bad Dolls, all of which I currently have in the house and I haven't read. One of the people that blurb it said Vesper is my favourite new anti-hero, my ideal read and my favourite Rachel Harrison novel yet. So I'm very good. Oh, and actually, What Kind of Mother, the book, there was a book that I reviewed in my last, like 2 reading vlogs ago, was by Clay McLeod Chapman, an author I hadn't heard of before, and they blurb this: warms your heart when it breaks it and then rips it out. God, I look tired. That's because I had an afternoon bath and I feel quite sleepy, but in a good way, you know, that way when you've feel like you've achieved things of a weekend. I got a good lot of cleaning, baked cake, you see that in my vlog that comes just after this one. And yes, the doggos have been walked, changed beds, finished and started a new audiobook, and then finished and obviously finished and started a new physical book. So that there. Have you bought any new books recently? Like second-hand, hauled, or any? Let me know. I want to know. Also, let me know what you're reading. I'll maybe touch on it in my weekend reading vlog. I'm currently reading Carrie Kills a Man, a memoir. It's a transgender memoir, and I'm utterly loving it. But I'll go more into that in my weekend rock vlog that comes up next. And so for today, until next time, thanks as always. I hugely appreciate every time you watch, comment, like, and for any subscribe. Honestly, it means a lot to me. It makes me just keep making videos to ramble chat to you all about books. I'll list all the books down below. If you've got any questions, please just ask, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye.